Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is the second video for this SQL series. And if you haven't subscribed, please do remember to subscribe and like the video. Okay, we'll start by looking at this image on my screen, the tables I mean. So we have three tables. We have the account, deposit, and debit table. So in this video, we are going to talk about the foreign key. So let's make this larger. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the account, deposit, and the debit tables. So in the accounts, just as we discussed the last time, I'm sure you can guess what the key column is. The primary key column will be the number, account number. For the deposits table, what would be a key? I wouldn't say account number because it appears multiple times. So I think for this table we either have a composite key where we are combining two columns, or we just create an extra column here. Maybe call it row ID or deposit row ID, and it will go from 1 to 3 all the way down. How about for debit table? What do you think our key should be? This will be the same situation as the deposit table. It's going to be a composite key. Or you can create an extra column and make that a surrogate key. Okay, having said that, let's dive into the main topic we're going to discuss today. So if you notice, you'd see that the account table has the columns for an account number, owner, balance, and type, and the deposits tables and the debit tables seem to have information concerning the account table. So the deposits table has information for account numbers 102, 104, 105, which, 102, 104, 105, Way, Jones, and Martins. The debit table also seems to have account information for these people. Now, in cases like this, we say that account number, deposit dot account number, that's the account no in the deposit table references the number column in the account table. I hope that makes sense. And if you look at it critically, you'll see that it's true. The account no in the deposit table, let's call it deposit dot account no. So deposit dot account no, all of the values that it has draws its reference from account number. This also means that if we were to, let's say, want to record a column and deposit that account no with account no, let's say 112, it's going to give an error. And it's going to give an error because account dot number does not have any value 112. So this in turn means that the foreign key, the DBMS uses the foreign key to enforce referential integrity. It uses it to enforce a constraint that gives us referential integrity. This also means that in the debit table, I cannot have debit.account no of, let's say, 107. That's because debit.account no also references account number. So debit.account no is a foreign key. This is a foreign key. And it's a foreign key. This is also a foreign key because it references account number. And it cannot have any values that are not in account number. I hope that makes sense. I'm sure it does. So, yeah. So a foreign key, let's also say, just as we've seen in this table, this is a foreign key and this is a foreign key. And yet these account no columns are not keys for their table. So this goes to say that a foreign key is not necessarily a key for its table. So I just want you to have that in mind. Foreign key just refers to another column in another table that is itself a key. So whatever keys, whatever column a foreign key refers to is a key. Account dot number is a key, but deposit dot account O is not a key. Debit dot account O is not a key. They are all foreign keys because they reference another column that is a primary key. I'm sure that makes sense. If it doesn't, maybe just go back to the video or drop a comment below and I'll talk more about this. So just like we said, keys define a unique row in a table, while foreign key defines the relationship. So the debit.no and the debit.account no and the deposit.account no would prevent their respective tables from having non-existent accounts in this case. So in line with this, let's do away with this. Let me grab another example. So let's call this schema music. Let's call this schema music. I'm just going to paste this illustration. So let's call this schema music. And the music schema has tables, 3 tables: artist, song, and sales. And from what I've said so far, artist has artist ID, artist name, country, genre. The songs has song ID, title, artist ID. So we see that in the songs table, right, we have artist ID. Artist ID is not a key for a songs table. The key for the songs table is song ID. But every value we have in artist ID would refer to the value we have in artist.artist ID, if that makes sense. So this means that this songs.artist ID is a foreign key referencing artist.artist ID. This also means that we could have a lot of songs down here from the same artist. So that means the artist ID will have duplicates, could have duplicates of a certain value, but it must not have a value that we do not have in artist.artist ID. And in line with what I'm also saying, we see the column song ID in cells, and song ID would always refer to songs.song ID. So this is a foreign key and this is a primary key. Just take a minute, take a good look at it, and if you have questions based on this, please, you can put it in the comment section. And let's see. I hope that makes sense. I think we'll be going on to the next thing. And the next thing we'd be doing, let's call that a table. Let's learn how to define our tables. So when it comes to table definition, hopefully everything I said before now makes a lot of sense. So when it comes to table definition, we define our tables by talking about the name of the table, the name of each column, the domain of each column, the list of keys, if any, list of foreign keys, and all other information about our table. So when we talk about table definition, like I just said, you want to talk about the name of your table, the name of each column. Let's put that here, okay? So this is how you define your table. What is the name of the table? The name of each column, the domain of each column, the list of keys, if any, list of foreign keys, if any. So let's go back here. If you remember from the last video, we talked about a boots table here. So let's define this table. Table is called boots. That's the name of table name, boots. Arity 3, cardinality 5, names of columns BID, bname, color, domain, integer, varchar. Keys, the key is BID. So overall, we just want to give every important detail and information about your table. So that is how you define your table. Okay, lastly, let's talk about relationships. We won't dwell so much on this, but I will just talk about it because it's important. So, our foreign keys allow us to model relationships. So we can model either a one-to-one relationship, one to many, many to one. And let's take an example. Let's say an example of a one-to-one relationship. Let's talk about, let's say, a table of scales, employees and their scales. So we could say that each employee has one scale, right? That's a one-to-one relationship. Employee A is good at writing, employee B is good at maybe cleaning, something. That's one-to-one. We can also have many to one, right? Many employees could be good at writing, that's many to one. Many employees could be good at listening, that's many to one. Or we can have one to many. So one employee is good at writing, singing, listening, dancing, that's one to many. We can also have many to many. This I'm just going to talk about it. Many to many, which means that you know many employees are great at many skills, if that makes sense. Many employees great at many skills. Okay. So we can say employee ABC, they are all great at dancing, singing, clapping, and the three employees are great at these three things. Each of them great at these three things. So that's a many to many relationship. So this is where foreign keys come in, because most times a table that models a many to many relationship just has columns that are foreign keys that refer to other primary keys. We'll talk about this in more depth in the next videos coming up, but I think at this point we have talked about some of the very important things we need to know about data basics. And from our next video, we are going to start um, writing SQL syntax, starting at least with a select statement. So I'll see you in the next one. And if you haven't subscribed, remember to subscribe. It's totally free, as I always say.